Well, good evening and welcome to yet another edition of DXB Today. Thanks so much indeed for tuning in. This is your daily dose of what's going on in this extraordinary city. We cover a wide range of topics, but also take a moment of reflection, a moment to focus on some of the things that this city has become in recent times. And the question we're posing to you today, is it a place of reflection? Is this a place to find your inner self, your authentic self, your self, whatever it might be? We've got plenty in store for you tonight.
Yes, we're going to be learning about the Mirror Vision Board to help you set and achieve your goals, turning your dreams into a reality one image at a time.
And we've got Sana and his band joining us tonight to play out some chilled out jazz music right here in the studio. Ooh, I'm excited. I haven't had a jazz band in the studio in a while.
No, and it's a good one, isn't it? Because again, we've got that sort of mix, haven't we? We've got the conversation going here about our authentic self, whether we're in touch with our authentic self. But a lot of people will have different means, different routes to finding that authentic self. It might be expression through art, it might be expression through music, it might be anything out there that becomes your interest, but something we're trying to tap into. I suppose the big question I've got for you guys is, and again, I know regular viewers of this show will go, at what point are they going to say that they've been here for a while? Well, it's right about now. Yeah, we've been here for a while. But we have seen things change in this city.
Yes.
And it's gone from being a place where people would come for a short amount of time and sort of cash in, if you like, and then head on out, to laying down roots. And with that laying of roots, I think there is more appreciation of the authentic self, the inner self. I think that's become more important to people.
Definitely. I mean, when we first came here a million years ago. Yeah. But you know, it was very transient, and it still is very transient, but people keep returning, come back, and like you said, you want to kind of carry yourself with that authenticity that maybe perhaps wasn't there. People would say, oh, I'm just going to nip over to Dubai, do whatever, and you know, almost give a facade of who they really are. But now, because people are establishing themselves here, they want to show their authentic, true self.
Yeah.
That, and because Dubai has become the land of opportunity, hasn't it? So people have started to switch careers here. People have absolutely turned their lives 360 here. So it's a great place to find who you are really, and then start from there.
I think it's to do with the reputation of the city as well, which has grown and grown and grown in recent years. More and more professionals coming here to practice here, to call this home as well, throw their support behind. And yeah, it might have been labelled in the past with that sort of idea of transience, that idea of inauthenticity to a certain degree, because the history and the roots were less than maybe you would find in other parts of the world. But I think it can now lay claim to being authentic just by the number of people that call it home, and the amount of professionals here as well.
But before we continue further with this conversation, it looks like we're really getting deep into it.
Oh, well, let's get deep, shall we? And meaningful.
Let's find our co-host first. Let's find out who she is.
Hi, I'm Marissa Peer. I'm a world-renowned therapist and a best-selling author, and I cannot wait to speak to you in the studio tonight.
Yes, Marissa will join us right here in just a little bit. But first, from affirmations to vision boards, we went down to define our goals with Mirror Vision Board kits. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Ira Palatko, and I'm a founder and creator of Mirror Vision Board Kit. Vision Board is a collage of all of your goals and dreams. How to start creating your vision board? First, you have to understand what are your goals and dreams. I would suggest you write a list. What do you want to achieve? Usually we would do a vision board for 1 year and then start searching for images, pictures, affirmations, words which would represent these goals. Benefits of using vision boards. First of all, it really helps you to decide what do you want to achieve. Second, it helps you to be very specific with your goals and dreams. Mirror Vision Board Kit consists with the board itself and different images from different spheres of life, like wealth, health, hobbies, travels, business, family, and so on. Also, it has a lot of different words and affirmations which will represent your goals and dreams. You can also add your own picture and anything specific you might want to add. thousands of people using their vision board kits, and it helped them to achieve their goals and dreams in personal and professional life. So we have a few different options. We have male version and female version. As well, we brought vision boards to a corporate world. We created versions for different industries. One of them is real estate. And right now we are working on and coming up with the philanthropy version. Dream big, because only big dreams can touch people's hearts. And it's not about how, it's about what. And remember, it's not only about putting pictures on the vision board, it's also about thinking about it and taking actions towards it. It's equally important. Dream big, set goals, and take action.
Yeah, we were just talking, weren't we, about the fact that this city has become home, a base for so many professionals, individuals, services, for all those looking for a path to better yourself. Mira, with the vision boards, just one of those. Talking of bettering yourself, we couldn't ask for a better co-host today. World-renowned therapist and, of course, best-selling author, transforming the lives of thousands using a unique approach, rapid transformational therapy. One of the most recognised names in the well-being industry worldwide. Please welcome back to the sofa here, Marissa Peer. Marissa, lovely to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me back. It's lovely to be here.
It's great to have you, and especially on a topic that is so close to your heart, so close to so many people's heart here in a city. It's a city that takes a lot. It's a city that demands a lot. It's a work hard, play hard city. It's a visa-driven city. A lot of people come here to try and to see their dreams become reality, and with that comes a lot of hard work. Is it a city that is unrelenting when it comes to trying to find inner well-being, or is it a city that gives a lot to well-being?
Do you know, my experience is it gives a lot, because since I moved here, we've made so many friends, because it's an expat community. Everyone's having barbecues and lunches, and I found it immensely welcoming. I think in all walks of life, you've got to give and receive. You should give a lot of yourself, but I think if you get a lot back, like people say to me, you know, you give so much as a therapist. Well, I do, but I get so much back. I think if you get back as much as you give, you'll always be okay.
Because I suppose a lot of people would attribute and relate pace to inner well-being, if you like. If you're going at 100 miles an hour, then when have you ever got time to think? When have you ever got time to reflect, etc.? And because it is such a fast-paced city, a lot of people would suggest that, it's a city that sort of demands a lot. But is pace, is the slowing down of the pace, is the taking your foot off the pedal imperative when it comes to inner well-being?
I mean, you have to choose. You have 24 hours in a day, and there'll always be a time when you're in the shower, waiting for the kettle to boil in the back of an Uber, where you can just chill. And I mean, you're a human being, not a human doing, so you do have to think, okay, I just got to be. But there's always a time, even if you're waiting to go into a meeting, where you can just take a few minutes and just breathe. But I think you've got to get off that rush. I'm eating fast, drinking fast, moving fast, talking fast. You've got to really slow down. So you could be busy, but when you stop, you just have to really stop and, eat slowly, lie on the sofa, slow down.
I like what you say there. When you stop, you have to really stop. And I think a lot of people forget to do that.
Yeah.
And it has to do with mindfulness, doesn't it? Could you tell us a bit more about mindfulness and your therapy, RTT?
Yeah, well, mindfulness is really being in the moment. So you're eating a bar of chocolate, you should break it off, smell it, oh my God, this smells so good, eat one piece. If you eat a packet of fries, have one. Don't do that cramming it all in. And if you're talking, just slow down a bit. Whatever you're doing, even if you're having a bath, don't be on the phone and looking and think, just try and be in the moment, just be aware. Just like if you look at children, they get so engrossed in one thing and they're not doing anything else, they're totally engrossed. So mindfulness means just slow down and focus and be present with one thing. It's like if you're having dinner, you shouldn't be on your phone. I see people now, they're watching TV and they're on their phone and they're on the iPad, and you want to just try and do one thing at a time. It's much better. RTT is a rapid therapy, but although it's very rapid and transformational, it aims to do everything in between 1 to 3 sessions. It's very different to let's go to therapy for a year. I always thought therapy should be just like going to the doctor. If I go to the doctor or the dentist and go, hey, I'm in pain, they're not going to go, well, we need to build a relationship and they're going to go, you're in pain? Where's the pain? I'm going to get rid of the pain. So I created a therapy that says the same, where's the pain? whether that's the physical pain of migraine, tension, headaches, or irritable bowel, or an emotional pain of I can't find love, I self-sabotage. But I want to say the same thing as a physician. Where's the pain? You're going to leave here today without the pain. And that's what it does.
So we're
Very impressive.
So we touched there on mindfulness, but one of the other things that we were discussing earlier is getting in touch with your inner self.
Yes.
So how would you advise somebody, if there are any techniques that you can implement to find your inner self?
You know, one of the key things that causes depression is failing to follow your heart's desire. That's a key indicator in being depressed. So when you find your inner self, you have to think, you know, what do I like? What makes my heart sing? What do I like? Many people say, you know, I never wanted to go into the family law firm. I never wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't listen to my gut. I did what was expected of me. So your inner self is, you know, who am I? What do I like? What do I enjoy? And then having the courage to say, doesn't really suit me. I don't really want to go there. I'm not really a person that wants to stay up all night. And with children a lot, when I was working with my daughter, I'd say, darling, you've got to learn how to say no to drugs, and no to alcohol, and no to cigarettes, which I'm sure she didn't do 100%. But if you can give your kids a sense of themselves, who are you? What do you like? And then they'll say things like, you know, that's not my thing. I don't like that. But you have to have a sense of yourself to say, this is my dream. You know, my father wanted me to be a teacher, and I had to say, you know, that's your dream. It's not my dream. And I see so many parents who go, my kid's going to play the piano. And I go, you need to dream another dream. This is not your child's dream. They've got their own dreams, and you shouldn't make your dream their dream, because then they don't know who they are.
Yeah,
We're
we
all
see that a
musical.
lot, don't we? Like
Yeah.
dance moms, you know, pushing their dreams on, you know, onto
And I've
their
never met a
children.
kid yet who likes playing the piano. I've met many who come in with headaches because they have to play the piano. But the problem is, if you can't find out who you are early, then you get swept into not knowing. So it's all about who am I, and having the courage to say, I'm a vegan, or I'm whatever you are, without thinking, ooh, because when we're younger, we need to connect. And so I say, I like what you like. I like to say, I'll have what you're having, I'll do what you're doing. And it's very important to say, no, that's lovely for you, but doesn't suit me.
When you are younger, maybe we could make the argument it's easier to reinvent yourself at a younger age. But once you get into the routine of life and you've got sort of developed your persona, is there an element of fear when it comes to reinvention, if you need to reinvent yourself? The reason I ask this, I know it's something that you work on a lot, face to face with people as well, but you've also got a summit coming up next month, I believe, an
May the
online summit
13th.
as well. In terms of the reinvention element as well, is that something that is laced with fear for a lot of people, the addressing reinvention of oneself?
I mean, if you look at someone like David Bowie, and actually David Beckham, who copied him, he reinvented his look all the time, and that made him very relevant. And a lot of people, when they retire, like Frank McCourt wrote Angela's Ashes when he retired.
Yeah.
Many people retire and go, oh, I'm going to write a book now, I'm going to create a program. So it's never too late to reinvent yourself. The challenge is the mind likes what is familiar. So if you spend 40 years, then you think, oh, but a lot of people say, you know, at 60 I started to lift heavy weights. At 50 I started to pursue something. I got into a brand new career. And there are people all over the world. Now, Tina Turner became famous in her mid-40s. And there are now people all over the world saying, I created this later in life. So it might be scary, but if you remember one thing, the brain likes what is familiar. That's true, but also you can make anything familiar at any stage. So just keep saying, I'm going to do this, I'm making it familiar, whether that's backpacking around the world or taking up a sport. It doesn't take the brain long to make something that's unfamiliar familiar. If you just keep saying, I'm doing it and I like it, you can trick your brain. I'm a great believer in lying, cheating and stealing. Lie to your brain, cheat fear and steal back whatever you want to reinvent.
Thank you
There's
for
a mantra,
clarifying
quite
that.
right.
But I like what you're saying, because that means pretty much saying that you can reinvent yourself at any age.
Any age.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of reinvention, why don't you tell us a bit more about your event coming up? Tom touched on it already earlier.
So I have an online summit from May the 13th to the 16th, and it's called the Reinvent Yourself Summit, and we've got some amazing speakers from all over the world who are each going to talk about how they reinvent themselves, and I'm going to teach people the steps you must take to reinvent yourself. There are certain things that you can do in order to totally reinvent yourself. I mean, I met Martha Stewart 2 years ago I thought she was 80, she was amazing. She was hanging out with Snoop Dogg. Wow, what a woman. Because she's stayed relevant. And that's people say, you know, oh, I've always worn this makeup, I've always dressed like that, I've always eaten fish on a Friday night or gone out and said, you know, you need to, you know, I love that expression, when hope dies, old age runs to meet you, but hope never has to die. So it's important to always reinvent yourself. What's going on? What's relevant? Does that interest me? You know, my husband and I moved here. We moved to LA 5 years ago. Someone said, oh my God, you're so brave, you're always moving. I said, but it's exciting. I don't want to get into a rut, and we love living here.
Interesting, and we've talked about so much in a span of 5 minutes, but we still have a whole show to do, so please stay with us.
I will.
We would love to have you for the rest of the show. So coming up, we are going to be discovering how to train our minds through non-communication. We're talking about Vipassana, the art of Vipassana, so stay with us, do not go anywhere.